Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into Exterritorial.
Ah, yes, the 2025 German thriller that landed on Netflix.
Exactly. So the basic idea, without giving too much away up front, is you've got this mother, right?
Hmm.
And she's desperately searching for her son who's gone missing. But here's the twist. It's inside a U.S. consulate in Germany.
Yeah, high security play. And it really spirals from there, doesn't it? You get hints of like past trauma, betrayal, even some political stuff simmering underneath.
Definitely. So let's get into the plot a bit. It kicks off with Sarah Wolf.
Right, the main character. She's former German Special Forces, which is, relevant later.
She takes her son, Josh, to the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt. They're supposed to be finalizing their move to the U.S.
Simple enough start,
Yeah.
but then bam, Josh disappears, vanishes from the consulate playroom.
And this is where it gets messy fast. Sarah insists Josh was with her. She saw him. He was right there.
But all the official stuff, the security cameras, the biometric scans they use at the entrance,
Yeah.
it shows Sarah entered alone. No Josh.
Oof. So immediately they're looking at her like maybe she's not okay.
Exactly. And they lean into that, especially because she has this history, this past trauma from Afghanistan. It casts doubt on her whole story right from the start.
Yeah, and the film really runs with that. We see most of it from her point of view, but you're constantly questioning if she's reliable.
Totally. And then there's Eric Kynch, the head of security at the consulate.
Ah, this guy.
Yeah. He seems helpful at first, maybe. But pretty quickly you see him manipulating things, twisting the evidence.
It's proper gaslighting, isn't it? Making her and us doubt her sanity. He makes her seem unstable.
He really does. And what starts as just, "Where's my son?" turns into something much bigger.
So it's not just about Josh.
Not entirely. As Sarah keeps digging, refusing to back down, she starts uncovering layers. It turns out Josh's disappearance is kind of tangled up in this bigger conspiracy.
And Kynch is at the center of it.
Seems that way. It even connects back to his past, specifically that incident in Afghanistan where he apparently betrayed his team.
The same incident that scarred Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's connecting.
Yeah, it all loops back.
Yeah.
And the real core of this conspiracy, the reason for all the deception, it seems to be about someone else entirely.
Okay. Who?
A Belarusian refugee named Kira Wokawa.
Kara Wolkawa. Okay, how does she fit in?
Well, apparently she has some very sensitive information, something damaging to the U.S.
Ah, political intrigue. Got it.
Exactly. So Kynch needs to silence her, make her disappear, basically.
And making Sarah look crazy helps him do that.
It's the perfect cover. If everyone's focused on this supposedly unstable mother looking for a son who maybe wasn't even there.
Then nobody's looking at what Kynch is really doing with Kira.
Precisely. He uses Sarah's situation as a massive distraction. It's quite manipulative.
So Sarah figures this out or pieces enough of it together.
She realizes she's being played, yeah, and that the system isn't helping her find Josh.
Yeah.
So she does something, well, pretty extreme.
Uh-oh. What does she do?
She kidnaps Kynch's own daughter, Aileen.
Whoa. Okay, that's a move. Where? Inside the consulate.
Yeah, she grabs Aileen and locks herself and the girl in one of the consulate's secure holding cells.
Wow. Desperate times, huh?
Absolutely pure desperation. She's basically backed into a corner, and this is her only leverage.
So she's holding the daughter hostage. What's the demand?
The truth. She threatens his man. Kynch tells him she'll harm herself and Aileen unless he confesses everything. About Josh, about Kira, about Afghanistan.
High stakes. Does Kynch believe her?
It seems like he thinks she's bluffing, Maybe thinks he can still control the situation. He actually goes into the cell.
He goes in there with her.
Yep. Probably thinking he can talk her down or manipulate her further.
Okay, this is tense.
And inside the cell, feeling maybe a bit too confident, Kynch spills everything.
Seriously. He confesses.
The whole thing. How he faked the surveillance footage where Josh really is, what he did in Afghanistan, the plan for Kira. He even tries to stage a fake scene in there.
But why would he do that?
He thinks it's contained, right? Just him, Sarah, his daughter. But Sarah's smarter than he thinks.
Oh. What did she do?
She hid a recording device in Aileen's stuffed animal.
No way. Classic.
Totally. So just as the security teams are gearing up outside, ready to breach the cell,
She plays the tape.
she activates the recorder, yeah,
Yeah.
and broadcasts his entire confession over the consulate's internal comm system.
Oh, brilliant. The whole place hears it.
The whole place hears everything. Kynch's lies, his crimes, everything laid bare.
Game over for Kynch.
Instantly. He's arrested right there. The recording is undeniable proof. Everyone realizes Sarah was telling the truth all along.
And they figure out Josh was taken just to mess with her head.
Exactly. To
Yes.
manipulate her and provide cover for the Kira situation, it all comes out.
So what happens then? Do they find Josh and Kira?
Thankfully, yes. Josh is found safe, unharmed. Kira Wokawa is located and rescued too, along with the information she has.
That's a relief. And Sarah?
We see her recovering in the hospital, reunited with Josh. Kira gets asylum, ready to spill the beans, presumably. And most importantly, Sarah's name is cleared. Her honor restored.
Okay, quite the resolution. So we've laid out the whole roller coaster. The big question then, is Exterritorial actually worth watching?
Ah, the million-dollar question. Well, look, based on what we've discussed and what people are saying, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay, let's break that down. What are the good points?
Well, the action scenes seem to get a thumbs up, generally. They're apparently quite tense, well shot, give you that sense of urgency.
Immersive camera work, maybe?
Something like that. And Jean Gorceau, who plays Sarah, gets praise. Sounds like she pulls off both the vulnerable mother and the capable operative side.
Okay, strong lead, good action. What about the downsides?
This is where it gets tricky. Plausibility seems to be a major sticking point for some reviewers.
Like, you have to suspend disbelief quite a bit. Empty hallways and a high-security consulate, that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe convenient ladders appearing just when needed, or security protocols seeming a little lax, let's say, for the plot to work. Some stretches you just have to go with.
I've seen comparisons to movies like Flight Plan, that sort of missing person gaslighting trope. Does it feel fresh enough?
It leans more into the action, maybe, than some of those psychological thrillers. But yeah, the core premise isn't entirely new, and sometimes trying to juggle the missing son plot, the conspiracy, the past trauma, it can feel a bit convoluted, tangled.
Okay. Any other common criticisms? Pacing, maybe?
Yeah, some mention uneven pacing moments of high tension followed by lulls. And the ending. Well, it sounds like it relies heavily on that confession scene, a bit of an exposition dump, where the villain just lays it all out.
The let me explain my evil plan ending.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, Kynch being the bad guy isn't exactly a shocking twist for many viewers. A bit predictable, perhaps.
Right. So, interesting themes, trauma, gaslighting, abuse of power, but maybe the execution has some flaws.
That seems to be the consensus. It's got ambition, touches on heavy stuff, but doesn't always stick the landing smoothly.
So, final verdict time, recommend it or skip it?
It's tough to give a hard yes or no, honestly. I'd say if you're in the mood for a thriller with solid action, a strong female lead, and you don't mind overlooking some plot holes or a slightly predictable villain,
Then it might be worth your time.
yeah, it could be an entertaining couple of hours. But if you need your thrillers to be super tight, logical, and surprising at every turn, this one might leave you a bit frustrated.
Okay, fair enough. So, exterritorial, tense action, decent lead performance, but maybe check your disbelief at the door and don't expect a completely watertight plot.
Pretty much sums it up. It delivers thrills, but comes with caveats.
And maybe, if you do end up watching it, it's worth thinking about that core idea how easily truth can be distorted by those in power, and how far someone might go when they feel completely cornered.
Yeah, that fragility of perception versus reality, especially when trauma's involved, it definitely leaves you with something to chew on regarding institutions and individual resilience.